Over on my main channel, I just did a big segment about how the media is coming after Trump. They're lying about him, mischaracterizing things he said, and propping up Andrew Cuomo. But you know, it's not just the media, it's also social media. Right now, we have this story. Trump campaign fumes after Twitter declines to tag new Democratic attack ads. Why, yes. You see, Trump, conservatives, and many people on the right, Trump supporters, were sharing a video of Joe Biden where he said we could only elect Donald Trump. What he was actually saying is we can only elect Trump if in fact we engage in a circular firing squad. Twitter labeled these tweets as manipulated. Now the DNC has put out basically the same thing. Joe Biden has as well. And will Twitter step in and actually label it? Nope. The media is 100% against the president, and everybody knows it. So let's just read this. And, you know, I got to be honest, this story is more of a chore than anything else because we all know it. As much as the media tries to claim it's not true, they're lying. The Hill reports President Trump's re-election campaign is venting frustration with Twitter after the social media giant refused to apply its manipulated media warning tags to two new videos released by the Democratic National Committee. It's the second time in a week that Twitter has shut down requests from the Trump campaign to sanction Democratic attack ads that the president's allies say were deceptively edited. Twitter recently slapped a manipulated media tag on a pro-Trump ad, leading to allegations from the president's campaign that the company is only enforcing its standards in favor of Democrats. Well, duh. It is. Twitter's arbitrary rules only seem to apply to the Trump campaign, said spokesman Andrew Clark. Once again, they've failed to provide any sort of clarity about why they are censoring video of Joe Biden's obvious issues while giving a pass to deceptively edited videos spread by his campaign and allies. The DNC's manipulated videos have been fact-checked as false. So it's difficult to read Twitter's refusal to label these videos as anything else than an effort to protect Joe Biden. Yes, they were labeled false. Joe Biden started his campaign by lying about Donald Trump. The great hoax, the fine people hoax. It's not true. Yet here we are. That's how the media plays. According to emails viewed by The Hill, a Trump campaign staffer on Saturday flagged two DNC videos for Twitter and requested the company review the ads under its new manipulated media policy. The first tweet from the DNC states, yesterday, Trump said he didn't disband the government's pandemic response team. He lied. Here he is earlier this year defending doing just that. The video shows Trump talking about the people we cut because I don't like having thousands of people around and you don't need them. However, factcheck.org deemed the ad misleading. Trump's remarks were in response to a question about the White House proposed budget cuts to the CDC, the National Institute of Health, and the World Health Organization, which have not been enacted by Congress. Trump was not responding to a question about his administration's restructuring of the National Security Council's Office of Global Health Security and Biodefense, as the DNC video implies. Fact-checked. And a second video the Trump campaign flagged features a DNC tweet of the president's fire exchange with NBC reporter Peter Alexander. The video does not include Alexander's question that provoked the exchange, in which he asked, is it possible that your impulse to put a positive spin on things may be giving Americans a false sense of hope? A Twitter employee responded to the Trump campaign's request by saying, our site integrity team has reviewed both pieces of media against the synthetic and manipulated media policy and determined both do not qualify for a label at this time. The Trump campaign is particularly angered by the DNC tweet featuring Alexander, saying that one of their own videos was tagged as manipulated for not including the full exchange. Twitter earlier this month sanctioned a Trump campaign video for showing a clip of Biden saying we can only re-elect Donald Trump. In a full clip of the moment, Biden says we could only re-elect Donald Trump if, in fact, we engaged in this circular firing squad here. It's got to be a positive campaign. Twitter slapped the manipulated media tag on the Trump campaign video after determining it did not include Biden's full remarks and therefore had been taken out of context. Earlier this week, the Trump campaign flagged new content on Twitter that it said had been deceptively edited to make it seem like the president had called the coronavirus a hoax. That's true. It was manipulated. It was manipulated media. The president never said that the coronavirus was a hoax. He said the Democrats' politicizing of it was. The Democrats run a campaign where they cut Trump out. It's like they just took one word and put them together. It's mind-blowing. The video, which has been viewed and shared millions of times on Twitter, features Trump saying, the coronavirus, comma, this is their new hoax. The Washington Post fact checkers gave 4 Pinocchios to a previous advertisement from former Vice President Joe Biden's campaign using the same audio. Other fact checkers, including Snopes, PolitiFact, and FactCheck.org, came to the same conclusion. Twitter won't actually flag the DNC videos, even though all of these fact-checking outlets are saying it's fake news. So what's the point of having this fact-checking consortium if Twitter is just going to be like, orange man bad? The fact-checkers determined that Trump was talking about Democratic efforts to politicize the virus rather than the virus itself. Trump's full quote was, coronavirus, they're politicizing it. We did one of the great jobs, you say. How's President Trump doing? Oh, nothing. They have no clue. They don't have any clue. And this is their new hoax. But you know we did something that's been pretty amazing. Twitter declined to sanction the Democratic video under its manipulated media policy. A Trump campaign source said they would continue to flag media for Twitter until they decide to start applying their standards equally. Twitter has not responded to a request for comment. Well, maybe Trump and the Republicans, I know there's a more important job going on, I guess. But when are these people going to take up real efforts to protect speech and integrity on these social platforms? I get it, man. Twitter's a private platform, but how infuriating is it to see the overt deception, the snooty elitist abuse of power? These people are scum. If you want to label Trump's video on the Biden thing misleading, do it with my blessing. Then you got to go and do Biden too. That's how it's supposed to work. But that's how the game is always played. Rules for thee, but not for me. Check it out. MSNBC's Chris Hayes refuses to air Trump comments, calling him a genuine threat to public health. Slime bags. I don't normally use insults. I've been doing it a little bit more lately. I'll try to slow down. How are you going to decide you can't air the president's own words when he's in full context, but then you're going to take him out of context for political brownie points? These people have no principles. And I say it all the time. And that's why I said this video feels like a chore. We get it already. This feels like being bashed over the head repeatedly with a club. We get it. Unfortunately, many people don't. The media is a rigged game. Chris Hayes declared President Trump a genuine threat to public health Tuesday night and refused to air his comments from earlier in the day concerning the coronavirus pandemic. The reason I bring this up, it's kind of an addendum to the main channel video I did earlier, where they actually said maybe what we'll do is we won't air it live. We'll air it later and we'll snip stuff. They're not even going to air it later. They don't want you to know what the president has to say. They realize that Trump doing these press briefings and actually having a chance to speak has been bad. So what do? When Trump and his people go on social media and make posts, they flag it. That way people say, oh, look, it's fake news. And the media runs with it. And then when Trump actually says stuff at press briefings, they say, oh, no, don't air it. Don't air that. So if Trump can't get any positive coverage and they own and when he tries and actually speaks for himself on social media, they flag it as fake news. What do you expect, man? It's a rigged game. They say Hayes opened his show by pointing out how other countries have instituted sweeping lockdowns for as long as 60 days, whereas Mr. Mr. Trump told Fox News that he hopes to get the U.S. back up and running by Easter. Easter is 2.5 weeks away, Mr. Hayes scoffed. As if you're a health expert and you're not an economist or a health expert. This is what frustrates me about these people. My typical stance is, I don't know. We got to figure it out. Trust the experts. Yeah, and then as soon as they decide they want to win or get ratings, all of a sudden they're the experts. We get it, man. Everyone's an epidemiologist and everyone's an economist. I'm not. We are seeing real economic damage. Okay. We're seeing a loss of life. That's true. Which problem is more pressing? Which could be worse? I honestly have no idea. And the epidemiologists aren't economists and the economists aren't epidemiologists. So we don't really know, but both could get really, really bad. One's really bad now. One could get worse. No idea. So I defer to the experts. Trump, being a trade guy, wants to kick things back into high gear as quickly as he can, and the doctors don't want to do it. Sounds like you got a real argument. But guess what? When economies tank, people die. Here we go. And when the president was pushed on that Easter goal, he made up a preposterous claim that doctors wanted to keep everyone locked down for 2 years, and no way he's having that. Although literally no one is suggesting we stay locked down for 2 years. You liars. Liars. Harvard researchers believe social distancing may need to be turned on and off through 2022 to combat the coronavirus. These people are liars. They are lying to you every single day. They don't want you to know what Trump is saying. And if he says anything on social media, they're going to flag it and call him a liar. It's disgusting. Chris Hayes is either a moron or he's a liar. No one is saying that. How hard was it for me to Google that? You know how hard it was? It wasn't at all. I went doot, 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 boom, found the story. Harvard wants us locked down for 2 years. But you know what? That's another issue. We're gonna jump into this one. I'm gonna do another segment coming up in a few minutes talking about the real ramifications of what's happening. And yeah, a 2-year lockdown is on the table. So we need to talk about what's really going on. But the reason I bring it up now is to prove to you that Chris Hayes is a liar. Okay, or he's a moron. I don't want to imply it's intentional. I said the same thing about Trump. They call Trump a liar all day and night. Yeah, maybe Trump is just dumb. Maybe he's just wrong. All right, I'll be fair. Chris Hayes is wrong. He's giving you misinformation. So by their own standards, this is a threat to the public health. I shouldn't be showing you what Chris Hayes is saying. I'm just so sick of the lies, man. It is really breaking down these days. Next segment's coming up in a few minutes. Let's talk about the 2-year lockdown. Because, yeah, Trump was right. They're talking about it. I'll see you in a few minutes.